Welcome to Laptop Radio. Today's topic is NFT Trends with Les Borsai. Les is the co-founder and CSO of Wave Financial. Hello, Les.
Hi, sorry about the earlier technical difficulties. It tells you how advanced I am.
You're pretty advanced. Tell us about your story.
Well, my story, I sometimes feel like I tell it in different ways. I left home at a young age and was really inspired to go out and figure out how to create things, I suppose. And I got involved early in the music business by way of bringing over a lot of the first rave bands from England. I figured out a way how to throw warehouse parties, and those warehouse parties ended up making money. I kind of went into the music business straight after that and became a concert promoter in Los Angeles. And for a young guy at the time who was 19 or 20, it was kind of a dream come true. And that's where my actual career started. And I can keep going. I thought you had a question, but from there, I did a lot of different things in the music business. I worked at record companies. I worked at technology companies that were kind of the first early digital record labels, and a lot with things like launching iPhone apps with musicians and rights management and licensing, and also kind of SMS for premium texting initiatives at concerts. And that was really the baseline to my early love for technology. I mean, I guess if I'm honest, the earlier love for technology, I remember it kind of well, is someone gave me a basic book about coding, and I had a pretty kind of ADD upbringing. So with the basic book, I remember literally just saying, okay, I'm going to learn how to code. And I think I spent 3 days doing this thing and reconciling that if I got one thing wrong, the thing didn't work. And I think by the end of it, I got through this whole book, and it was like a little stick figure dancing. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I just spent 3 or 4 days to make a stick figure dance. There's like no magic there. But I think the allure got me with kind of coders and people who did technology. I also realized pretty quickly it was never going to be me. But that's how my career trajectory was. And I managed artists, and I did lots of different things in the music business.
Wow, that's awesome. Tell us a little about Wave Financial.
Well, Wave Financial really was just an extension of what I learned in the music business. In the music business, it was always really exciting to be early. And community was a big part of signings. And as we lose Taylor Hawkins this week, which was so incredibly sad because he was just such a sweet human, and obviously not an unoriginal story. We lose lots and lots of musicians, sadly. But there is this community aspect to that, spending time with those musicians. And there was a aspect of discovering music early that really kind of stuck with me throughout my whole career. In 2013, Bitcoin was trading at about $200, and I became an advisor to a company called Ripple. And then I invested in the Ethereum presale. And from everything I had experienced and read and kind of that rebel attitude inside me, I really loved cryptocurrency immediately. And if you looked back at a lot of the early kind of cypherpunks and libertarians and everyone that were behind these technologies, I mean, it just made me think back to the early days of like using phones. When I say phones, a dial kind that had a cord in your house to get free phone calls. And, I just love that whole ethos. I just kind of went down that path and invested in a lot of pre-sales during the ICOs and bought NFTs in 2017. But at the end of 2017, myself and David Seymour and a guy named Ben Tsai started Wave Financial. And what Wave Financial is, it's a regulated investment advisor. We do lots of different things. We have a series of venture funds. We do treasury management for high net worths and protocols, and create financial products that are all regulated. It's been a really fun journey in that 3 years where 2 of them were pretty hard markets. The company has about $1.5 billion that we manage now, and we just passed 40 people. I think everything goes right, we'll be at 100 by the end of the year. It was finally my first overnight success that took 10 years.
Awesome. I love crypto too. What is your aha moment about the blockchain ecosystem?
Well, I mean, I think my aha moment was really meeting someone who had this wallet called PeerCover. It was the first XRP wallet. And I didn't know much about Bitcoin, and I felt like I was really late. When I saw how the PeerCover wallet kind of interacted with XRP, and this was 2013, I was like, oh, wait, peer-to-peer money, I get it. Because remember, I understood peer-to-peer music. When you took a look at Sean Fanning and Sean Parker and the early Napster days or LimeWire or any of that stuff, it was easy to understand the disruption that peer-to-peer music would be. And it was also really easy to understand the fact that the labels and publishers would push back. And that really bothered me. I like innovation. I like it when it comes from like this rebellious young spirit that's trying to make things better. And the thing that always bothered me was it wasn't embraced. The IP was protected by the record companies. And I understood that the proposition from them was, well, we're protecting the artist's copyrights. And I think there would have been a way to do it where everyone could have benefited. And because they didn't allow that to happen, we had the narrative change. It was always kind of really upsetting.
I remember Napster days. I was actually working at eBay at that time, doing peer-to-peer music, and and understood all the things around vicarious liability. It's really interesting. What do NFT, crypto, and DeFi have in common?
For me, it's all the same. And that's really a different position than I think a lot of people. And when I say it's all the same, if we look at it from a characteristic standpoint, again, they're all part of innovation. And the thing that's great about this generation that's doing these innovations is they have such a big imagination in terms of being able to put these ideas together that just don't make any sense. But when in practice, they make a lot of sense. And you know, when I think about Avagache, which I talk about a lot, the fact that your avatar could be a wallet and that avatar could yield farm for you and earn money in their metaverse, it was like all of these really clever ideas that they could actually execute on. And digital currencies were really the defining factor. What do you have there? You have cryptocurrency and a ghost token. You have the DeFi components of yield farming, and then you have NFTs in terms of the Avagaches themselves. You literally put all of those three things together. At the end of the day, the world that exists, I think there's very little distinction between an NFT launch and that NFT appearing as something that can be a valuable puzzle piece in a metaverse game that allows you to create play to earn. That's why when I look at it, I don't have independent opinions. I have a kind of perspective that is 8 miles high.
Mm-hmm. And why did you create the NFT fund?
The NFT fund was kind of a strange thing. I had bought my first NFT in 2017, which was a CryptoPunk, which I fortunately lost and have never found, but I got another one. The NFT fund really came from one of my early purchases, you know, things like Bored Apes. And, you know, my business partners were looking at me saying, hey, there's something here. We should do a fund around this and do it in a different way, have it regulated and do some things that are a little more traditional finance. And I'm like, I don't get it. It's an NFT. Why? And they're just like, art's an asset, idiot. We're an asset manager. And I guess it wasn't that obvious to me, or I just wanted to keep it for myself. But we ended up launching the fund and it's done very well. It's about 70% collectibles that we look at. And look, for anyone who's not in the space, it's complicated to say to someone, hey, your small brain just had a small baby and right now you're yield farming for treasures, or you need to stake that NFT. All of the things we buy, there are these additional components to it that you have to be really, really engaged in and paying attention to. And the fund is also 30% infrastructure, where we look a lot at the gaming and the cross-chain stuff and the gallery stuff and anything that's interesting. And I do make it kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had to raise money, but raising money is one of the worst experiences in the world and can be. And you literally are like this dancing monkey. And I don't even know if I can say that.
That's awesome.
Can I say dancing monkey, or is that like offensive to a monkey?
I think you can say that.
Bored ape. What can I say? Dancing monkey.
The apes might get mad. The apes might get mad.
But you're a dancing monkey in front of these guys, trying to tell them this is a really great idea, and it's just so much easier to figure out how to get a DAO or something, create something, and sell it on a secondary, and you know, continue to build. And that's really what I love about the space is it feeds itself. And if you're interested and you can build a community, it almost reminds me of, well, I have enough of an imagination to think about initial barter between Native Americans. I don't know, who are they, pilgrims? Was it pilgrims that landed? I don't even think that was a good experience. I think that ended up bad. This is a terrible example. But I think about that initial bartering, and I look at this world that's created right now in the metaverse, and that's what it is. It's bartering, it's secondary sales, it's building, it's land. It's all of the things that you can do in an immersive way that's not really that different than I would imagine when places we live and breathe today were incorporated, developed, discovered.
Yeah.
That's how I look at the world.
What is your favorite NFT right now?
I have a lot, actually. They're always the ones I sold, but you're asking me kind of on the right day because I bought a fair amount yesterday, which I sometimes do, which are different than what the fund does. The fund does more diligence, and I actually can't do a mint before the fund does, but I can buy secondaries. I'm thinking about what I bought yesterday, and sorry, I got to go to it because I actually don't remember I bought so much stuff. I mean, it's really bad. I bought these Goop dudes. I like those a lot. I don't know what it is about those. I was fortunate to get a really cool Azuki. I love these Chefty pizza things. I know Tom Colicchio is involved in these.
Mhm.
And I watched that stupid Top Chef show for just forever.
Mhm.
So like, okay, pizza NFT, I'm in. The ether terrestrials are also really cool. I think I bought a Genesis ether terrestrial, strange hands. I really have a problem, I think. I just sit and, kind of read and research and the things that I love. And a lot of times it works. I just love the game more in some ways than the individual pieces. I really like the Killer Girlfriends. I've always liked those. I bought some Cryptodes, which I can't stop buying because I really like those a lot.
Those are cute.
Gremlin's, really amazing. I don't know. I have like 800 personally. So you
Wow. Wow.
know what I do on a weekend. It's really kind of sad.
Let's talk about NFT trends. Since you're an avid collector and you also have an NFT fund, what are some NFT trends that you're seeing?
Well, the stuff that I'm really into, and this is what's really great about the fund, the guys that run the fund were guys who lived in the space, and the guys who do the diligence were guys that came from banking. A guy named Veg Surfer and another guy named Jeeves, who are amazing. They live and breathe in space, and they actually follow trends incredibly close. They know when to sell out, they know when to hold, and they know when to pay attention. The trends that I like might be a little bit different because of how I describe this universe and economy. For me, I love it when you can take an NFT from a drop and put it into a game and have the extra added value. And then as soon as we see those NFTs kind of going from game to game, adding added value, I think that's going to be really interesting. I saw the Walking Dead NFTs and I love those. I'm hard pressed to find something I don't love these days, but I just like all of that cross gaming capacity. I keep waiting for the Sherberts to come around as Sherbets, which are those poker NFTs. And I've always been a fan of the Arbitrum stuff. The small brain stuff is really cool. And you're able to do a lot of things with that. The ones I'm waiting on really do well are like the Dope Wars ones are good. I like all of that nostalgia in games that's being repurposed. I can go on all day. Like, don't ask me what I like. I'll just say everything.
So I just wanted to remind everyone that we're not giving investing advice,
I'm definitely
especially
not.
on NFTs.
If you want to lose a whole bunch of money, buy some of the NFT I just talked about. No, it's all really great. And again, like for me, I'm not necessarily looking at every single piece and saying, that's the piece of art I want. Like, I like art. Lorona, I love Justin Aversano's stuff. The quantum stuff is really great. And he's such a visionary. There is fine art I really like. I love my Clone X's because of the Murakami integration. That was really cool, the way Murakami did that. And that's just this really cool roadmap. And seeing Nike be able to kind of get involved and adopt on that, and all the different companies connected to it, that's really, really cool.
What do you see NFT in a year or two? Do you think it's going to go away or do you think it's going to stay?
No, there's no way it goes away because as long as that economy is robust and people are building, it's kind of like thinking about it in this way, are video games going to go away? Are gamers going to go away?
No.
So if you move those gamers to another platform that gives you more opportunity, more feature sets, the ability to actually do play to earn. I mean, the regulatory component's a little bit of a gray area to see what they do and how they regulate play to earn and everything else. But it doesn't go away. It just moves and gets bigger. You're also talking about NFTs being kind of this global commodity. And not everything is just here. There's just as robust NFTs in China. And we see that market developing with more kind of secondary markets opening up. but I have some X rabbits. I have some Ready Player cats. There's a ton of really cool stuff. And because of these blockchains and layer twos and everything to make it more efficient, you can literally collect different chains. I remember buying a Binance Punk early just because it was on Binance. That's also super fun because it's just such a global footprint.
Awesome. And is there anything that you wanted to share that I have not asked you?
Well, I mean, to your point, everyone sees people making a lot of money and it's not quite that easy. Like any other thing you would invest in, I would say just be super cognizant and careful of why you're doing it and do it for the right reasons and invest what you can lose. And so it doesn't just take over everything. This is a really volatile space. And I think it's a good idea if you do have success to put some of it in conservative savings as well, because I think this is really youth driven. If we didn't learn anything from 2017, it can go away very quickly. I think that's why the infrastructure plays are really, really interesting in terms of all the gaming components.
What do you think about the metaverse and how that integrates with NFTs?
Well, I mean, all you have to do is put on an Oculus Quest 2 and spend time in the metaverse.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that makes all the sense. It's funny how movies and books really do tell you the roadmap of life in some ways. And when we look at Ready Player One, or I put on an Oculus Quest, I just played this game the other day. It was just like incredible. You're immersed and there you are. Anything else that's happening, it just fades away. And I think we're just seeing the beginnings of that, because to be able to interact with your avatar as an avatar, that's pretty cool stuff you can do, especially now that you're picking up digital currencies, and to be able to live with all of this imagination at your fingertips and to create that world. That's the exciting part about it. I read somewhere that Steve Jobs created the Apple computer when he was 21. It's pretty inspiring for all these folks that are creating. And I'd say the other thing that's really super hard but super interesting is how fast it's all moving, how fast the adoption is, how fast the innovation is. I've never seen anything like it. And it's because there's so much money in the space.
Yep, that's true. And what is one piece of advice you have for the community?
My advice is always the same. Let it be something that is genuine and authentic, where as you explore this world, let it be like the curiosity that drives you because you like doing it. It's fun. I think too many times we can be focused on money and money becomes a driver, and money shouldn't be a driver. You should find your interests and then find the corresponding NFTs or technologies that are connected to that interest, because you're going to find it right now with the way NFTs are emerging. If it's soccer, you're going to find soccer NFTs. If it's fitness, you'll find that too. But just be curious and have it be authentic. Then you won't get hurt too bad and you'll have a good experience.
Awesome. Thank you, Les.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.